What would life be without obstacles, challenges, and things we have to figure out? So we came in here earlier this week and we got the old feature here at Bass Pro removed. It was a little bit of a challenge. The old feature had a lot of concrete in it, which we didn't know when we first started. So the entire bottom, it was a liner bottom pond, but underneath of that, they had reinforced it with about 8 inches of concrete. So when we got into it and started tearing out all the boulders and rocks and everything that was inside of the pond, we had no clue what we were getting into. And as we started to tear it apart, we were like, oh my, we definitely got an issue here. So as we're going through it, we realized, I think we need a little bit bigger machine. So we had my buddy Tree with Virginia Land Development. He came out here with his big boy. He brought a big excavator out here and they started tearing into it and getting all that rock and boulders and concrete and all that stuff sorted out for us. Well, that challenge was answered, but then another challenge presented itself. So as we're getting all that out, apparently the electrical for all these parking lights back here and all the ballards throughout the entire parking lot, all the lighting, they ran all that with a bore shot. So a bore shot essentially is like a directional bore. It's gonna shoot, pipe with wire and stuff in it. Well, you'll put the wire in later, but it's gonna shoot pipe horizontally through the ground. Well, when they were shooting that bore through the ground, it didn't go in perfectly even. It didn't go in at the right depth. So it ended up kind of going like this and kind of come back down and then going back up again. When that happened, it went underneath the pond and it actually came up and had touched the concrete that we were removing. So as we were grabbing that concrete out of there and pulling it away, we took a little bit of that conduit with us. So that's where our second problem came in. We had electrical running right where the new pond needed to be. The old conduit was actually just a couple inches below grade instead of where it needs to be, at least 18 to 24 inches below grade. So we are dealing with that problem right now. We're almost done with that and we're actually gonna get to the construction here. Let me show you how things are looking right now. So through the tear out process, we were able to grab some of these nice big boulders out of here. This boulder right here, it doesn't look like it, but it's about, from where my finger is right there, it's about 5 feet down. And from right here, it's actually about, maybe 4.5 feet down. From front to back, just to give you guys a little size perspective, it's, maybe 9-10 feet. It's a big rock. This is sandstone. So we just ran a couple of calculations based on how much sandstone weighs. And we're probably looking somewhere in the neighborhood of 25,000 pounds for just that one rock. So we got that out of the old feature. We're putting it over here for safekeeping, if you will. We also have a little bit of a dam that we built. So there was a lot of silt and sludge and kind of nasty dirt that needed to just dry out. So we built a little bit of a dam and we kind of packed that all in there. When this is done, this whole area will actually kind of be leveled out, be graded out, and that rock, you'll be able to see the top of it sticking out of that whole area right there. It used to be a pond right here. Just for the budget and the constraints that they had right now, we're not putting a pond back in here. This is just gonna be landscaping that wraps around over into here. So we're dealing with the electrical right now. We're getting all that squared away. And all this is actually what's gonna be underneath of the pond. So I've got Sean, Matt, Paul, and Sonny. He's running the big machine here. This is that electrical. And this electrical used to kind of come up like that and then dive back down. There's another conduit right here. There's more conduit over there. There's more conduit over here. So they had all kinds of utilities running in here, and just have to kind of get them sorted out and get them taken out of here so that we can actually start on our construction. So if you can kind of see this white line right here, that's roughly what the new feature is going to be inside of this line. It's going to be, at this widest point, it might end up being about 14 feet from this over to here. It'll end up being about 28 feet. Our water is actually going to start. We're going to have 2 different streams in here. So our first stream is going to start right here. It's going to kind of be a little bit more of like a cascading falls coming down and entering the pond right here. We're going for a little bit more of a sheet falls. So a little bit more volume, a little bit more presence. And this fall, we're trying to get it where it angles straight at you. So as you're coming into the store, as you're approaching the store, you have this sheet fall kind of coming right down, and then there'll be a destination boulder right here. So as you walk up to the store, it'll kind of just draw you in and kind of suck you into the water, and you'll just have to stop and take a look at it and stare at it. So we're not going to be able to get much more done as far as liner and taking care of those things until we've got our electrical sorted, which we're not far off from that. What we're gonna do next is we're actually gonna take these big boys right here, these big rocks, and we're gonna kind of create a wall right here, and that's going to be the first wall for our drop and our edge of our pond. So that's what we're getting ready to do next. We've got this big machine here, it can handle them, and we'll go from there. So like I said, as you can see, we've got some nice big rocks that we'll be able to reincorporate in here, and then from there we'll clean it up. We'll get this down to a nice level grade, and they'll be able to take care of the landscaping once we're done. I really appreciate you guys following along with me and seeing how this project's going. I'm pretty excited about this one. This one's gonna be a really cool project when we're done. I'll keep you in tune. Check us out later. Thanks.